have sent the file. I hope you guys got the file. I'll open the question on screen as well. So this is question number 1, supply chain operations. So I would like you to go through this question, okay? Just read the scenario, and then, we'll talk about the requirements, okay? Just take your time and read the scenario, and when you are done with it, you can let me know through chat that you're done with it. You guys got the file, yeah? Oh, cool. So we are doing question number 1. Okay, so now if you are done with reading the scenario, you can try this part A. The part A says, complete the following statements. All right, let's go through the scenario quickly together as well. So this task is about understanding and managing the risk associated with supply chain operations, combined with methods to detect and prevent potential issues. So So XYZ Corporation operates a large network of distribution centers across the country, with each center receiving goods from various suppliers. So we are having various suppliers and distributing them to retail outlets. So what essentially they are doing is they are receiving goods from various suppliers, and then they are delivering it to a number of retail outlets. So due to the size of the operation, senior management cannot oversee every distribution center directly. Now this looks like a weakness. Okay. Local managers are responsible for supervising the daily operations. So local managers are responsible. Okay. So local managers are responsible for supervising the daily operations and reporting back to the head office. XYZ Corporation relies on third-party logistics companies. The name of the company is 3PL. Companies to manage, third-party logistic companies, 3PL. 3PL is basically a mnemonic we can use for third-party logistics. So they are calling it 3PL. So 3PL companies to manage the transportation of goods between distribution centers and retail outlets. These 3PL providers are responsible for loading and unloading goods without direct supervision from XYZ staff. So again, the third party is handling loading and unloading of your stuff, and without any supervision from you guys. Without direct supervision from XYZ staff. So that looks like another weakness. Okay. So when a 3PL provider arrives at a distribution center, the distribution center manager hands over the shipment documents and directs the 3PL providers to the appropriate loading area. Okay. So when 3PL provider arrives at the distribution center, the distribution center manager hands over the shipment documents and directs the 3PL provider to appropriate loading area. Okay, so the documents are handed over to the 3PL person. So to maintain accurate inventory records, local staff perform regular stock counts and adjust the records as needed. However, discrepancies have been reported between the inventory records and actual stock levels at some distribution centers. So they themselves are saying that there are discrepancies. Discrepancies means when there is a difference between the original and the documented. It can be due to theft, it can be due to error, and discrepancies actually leads towards impact on the financial statements. We have got the discrepancies here. All right, let's have a look at the question. So the question says that the above complete the following statements. So we are supposed to complete the following statements. So the above may result in occurrence of this fraud. You know, what fraud? Due to this, in order to address this risk, XYZ Corporation needs to implement GAP 3 as soon as possible. This will ensure that the impact on GAP 4 is minimized, right? I'm going to show you the options. And what do you guys think? You can take a minute and try to answer it, okay? You can write your answers in chat. Yes. The first one is right, 10. So the above may result in the occurrence of misappropriation of asset. Yes, Becky, you're right. Due to lack of control. Yeah. Third option is lack of control. In order to address the risk, XYZ Corporation needs to implement dash as soon as possible. So these are the options. Okay. All right. So you guys think that this is physical control. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay. All right. So we need to talk about the third option, the third fill in the blank. Mm, So it says that in order to address the risk, XYZ Corporation needs to implement dash as soon as possible. So, you know, when we look at the scenario, the problem is that 3PL is doing it on its own without any supervision. All right. So I mean, it's not like we are not talking about the stock room from where inventory is being misappropriated or stolen. It's more about that the 3PL staff is doing, and you need to put supervision over it, right? So if you implement segregation of duties here, so that would be a better control instead of having the physical controls. All right. So I think that that's more appropriate. So the answer would be segregation of duties. And for the fourth one, you guys are right. The answer is impact on assets. Very good. Okay. Now we are at part B. So XYZ corporations, retail outlets have recently experienced several issues related to inventory management and financial discrepancies. James, the operations director, has conducted a review of the process uh, at the retail outlets and identified the following concerns. Inventory received from distribution centers is stored in an open area of the store accessible to all employees without proper tracking. So here, for this weakness, um, for for this inventory is in the open area, you need to put some physical controls over here, right? Um, Sales are recorded manually by store clerks using paper receipts, which are later entered into the store's computer system by the store manager. Okay, so everything is being done manually, and they're using the paper receipts. Then that information is later entered into store's computer, right? So that seems like another weak point. So store managers take home the daily cash takings for overnight storage before depositing them in the bank the next morning. So whenever a cash handling of cash is there, um, uh, that's the weakness, because stealing cash is the easiest thing. There is no record, there is no traces. So whenever you hear the word of cash, there should be an alarm bell going in your mind that something needs to be done here. Okay, and no formal records are kept of customer returns or exchanges, leading to potential discrepancies in inventory and sales record. Okay, so customers are returning goods and they are exchanging, but there is no record for that. So, when there is no record for that, obviously, uh, there is um, there is high risk for employees recording fraudulent um, exchanges or returns, and they would misappropriate the assets. Okay, so the part B says identify 4 weaknesses in the system that may result in fraud occurring. Okay, all right, you guys can take your time, right, and just try to figure out the answer for this one. Okay, and then once you're done with it, you can just write in chat. Okay, and then we will write the answer together on board. Okay, as well. So I would just keep on speaking whatever I'm writing. Okay. Okay. So the weakness is that inventory is stored in open area accessible to all employees, and this might lead to theft of inventory or damage. Okay. So we just identified the weakness. Now, what internal control we suggest for that? Um, Implement a secure inventory management system with restricted access and real-time tracking. Okay, let me write that down. So, when we're saying implementing a secure inventory management system, um, okay, let me just add a few words as well. Inventory management system with um, restricted access. and real-time tracking. All right. Okay. And now we are going to talk about that. How can this help in, how can this system will help in controlling, right? So this will ensure that only authorized personnel can access inventory, reducing the risk of theft or loss. Okay, you guys get it? So the same exercise you can follow for the second weakness. Second weakness is, you can write it down. Let me see if I could. All right, so you have to write down the um, the same thing for second weakness, and then you can let me know. You can write down your answer in chat as well. Let's just quickly have a look at the answer that we just did. So we were talking about the weakness two, in which sales were recorded manually by the clerks. So the weakness was the sales are recorded manually by clerks, which might lead to the risk of potential errors or mistakes. So control we can put in place is that sales should be recorded using point of sale system, which automatically records it and integrate it with the accounting system. Okay, so you are reducing the human involvement. When you are reducing human involvement, you are reducing the risk of error. So the reason why we are doing it is the recording sales automatically reduces human involvement and reduce the risk of fraud and error. Okay, all right. Then we are having a look at our part C. So part C says identify the appropriate rating for each of the situations given below. So the options are high, medium, and low. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the complete system. So you are part of the internal audit team at XYZ Corporation. During your review, you identified several areas where fraud could potentially arise. You have been asked to complete fraud matrix to assess these risks. The following situations have been identified. So situation one is XYZ Corporation has recently transitioned from manual bookkeeping to an automated accounting system. The accounting team is well trained and the software is regularly updated. Staff turnover in the department is low. Okay, so what do you guys think? What should be the rating assigned to this situation? Yeah, one, okay, very good. Yes, the rating we are assigning to this risk is low. The reason is that the likelihood is very low, and because the accounting team is trained and there is low staff turnover as well. So this is low. Okay, let's have a look at the second one. So due to high demand during the holiday season, XYZ Corporation hires temporary staff without conducting full background checks. These temporary employees handle cash transactions and are often left unsupervised. Okay, so what do you guys think about this one? Hi. Yeah, the reason is that you are hiring people, you are hiring temporary staff without checking their backgrounds and they're handling cash, right? So the risk is very high. Okay, it's cool. Okay, let's talk about the third situation. So to reduce costs, XYZ Corporation has decided to limit training on inventory management systems to one staff member per distribution center. So for for each distribution center, they are just training one staff member. All right. So what do you guys think about it? Yes, that's correct. So the risk is medium because it's not like that you are not training anyone. Had you been not training anyone, so the risk would be high. But as you're just training one individual, so the risk is medium. Okay. Cool. Okay, now we are at next question. So you have discussed the risk associated with supply deliveries at one of XYZ Corporation distribution centers with the local manager. You identified the following risk: the risk of accepting unauthorized, inaccurate, or damaged goods from suppliers. So deliveries often arrive outside of normal business hours and are left in an unsupervised area before being moved to the warehouse. There is no formal process for inspecting and recording the condition of goods upon arrival. So outline how you can monitor, review, and report on the risk described. So you have to think about three things: monitoring, reviewing, and reporting. So monitoring is like you are trying to prevent the fraud. Reviewing is when the process is being done, you are reviewing it at the same time, and reporting it is more like detection. Once it's done, so you would be trying to figure out, detect the fraud. Okay, just take like 5 minutes and write down your answers. Then we'll do it together on whiteboard. Okay. Okay, are you guys ready? Shall we start writing? We have to talk about monitoring, we have to talk about reviewing, and then we have to talk about reporting. Okay. So to monitor the whole system, there are areas where deliveries are left unsupervised. So deliveries, whenever there is a delivery, there should be a staff member who is recording everything, right? And there should be CCTV cameras over there to monitor what is happening. Okay. Okay. So this is what we can do um, to increase our monitoring. Okay. So install CCTV cameras where deliveries are being done unsupervised. So that's one thing we can do. There should be a staff member recording the deliveries in log using a digital system, updating it in real-time basis. Okay, on real-time basis. Okay, make sense? Okay. Now let's talk about reviewing. Okay, so this is what we can do. So conduct regular spot checks to audit ensuring inspection and recording of goods supplied are done correctly. In review, we can also review CCTV footage periodically to spot any discrepancies. Now we have to talk about reporting. Okay, so in reviewing, what we can do is conduct regular spot checks to audit, ensuring that the inspection and recording of goods supplied are done correctly. So what you're doing is like, there is a guy, or whenever there is a delivery, your staff member is recording everything, checking the deliveries, making sure that all the goods um, are 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 not damaged. So and he would be recording everything in the log. So what you can do is you can do regular spot checks as an internal auditor. Whenever the process is being done, you can go on the spot and check whether the process is done correctly. That's why I wrote that conduct regular spot checks to audit ensuring inspection and recording of goods supplied are done correctly. Thank you. Okay, now let's talk about the reporting. All right. So implement a reporting system through which any discrepancies in delivery system should be recorded in log and reported to management for further investigation. Okay. You can also prepare monthly reports monthly reports providing summary of spot checks, the spot checks you were doing, and CCTV footage review. Okay, you guys done with it? Okay, I think that's the end of this question. Yeah, that's the end of the question. You know, the PDF that I sent you, you have two more questions like this, so you can practice it on your own. Now let me send you a question from task 5. Okay, you can download this question. Okay, so you're given a scenario, and in part A, you are supposed to conduct a SWOT analysis of the proposed inventory management system. Consider the following areas in your analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So just go through the scenario quickly, and then we'll write the answer. Integration with the ERP system. So real-time updates, integration with the ERP system, these two are strengths. Okay? And, and the ability to automate routine tasks such as record point calculations and report generation. The new system also supports remote access. That's another strength, allowing the logistic team to manage inventory from any location within the internet access, with the internet access. To ensure a smooth transition, the company plans to offer comprehensive training to all relevant staff members. However, there are concerns about the potential challenges, including the cost of implementation. That can be a weakness. Okay, the learning curve, another weakness, and the risk of data breaches due to the system's cloud-based nature. So the difference between a cloud-based system and a system which is desktop-based, cloud-based system, all the data is saved in the cloud. Cloud is basically a storage provider, storage provided by a data company, right? Like Amazon. Amazon has that type of service as well. The AWS, Amazon Web Services, and there are so many other, um, so companies which are providing cloud-based storage. Google itself provide cloud-based storage. So to ensure a smooth transition, the company plans to offer comprehensive training to all staff. Okay, we got gone through that. The directors have requested a detailed assessment of the proposed inventory management system to determine its feasibility and potential impact on the company's operations. As part of this assessment, you are required to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats associated with the new system. Additionally, the cost-benefit analysis is needed to evaluate the financial implications of the implementation. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to share my whiteboard and let's write the answer. So in strengths, um, we saw that there is an ERP integration. ERP system is basically a system which connects the whole organization together and gives a holistic view and summaries. Like, it is connecting the production department, it is connecting the accounts department, the HR, stock management, so it integrates everything. We call it the ERP system. Some of the examples of ERP systems are, Oracle, SAP, these are ERP systems. So the new inventory management system has the ability to get integrated with the ERP system of the organization. So integration with the ERP system ensures that the inventory data is aligned with the financial records and reducing discrepancies and improving overall business operations. So that's one of the strengths. Okay. Then we have, we also studied about the remote access capabilities. So in the desktop management system, which is not cloud-based, so the staff needs to be physically present in the office to access that inventory management system. But if you are moving to cloud-based system, it means that staff can access the inventory management system as long as they have internet connection, right? So the ability of the staff to access the system remotely enhances flexibility, and it allows for continuous inventory management even when team members are not on site. Okay, so these are two strengths I can think of. Another one can be, it would also bring operational efficiency. So, the current system, it is lagging, and sometimes, it is making errors. So the new system automates many of the manual processes currently in place, and it reduces the human error, and it increases the speed of inventory management. Okay, so these are the strength of the new system. Let's talk about the weaknesses. Okay. Um, you know, the system can only be accessed when you have internet connection. It means the accessibility is dependent upon internet connection. So that's a weakness of the system. Um, Another problem can be, when the system is connected with cloud. So there is a risk that um, uh, there might be some security issues with that. Potential security risks. We have another weakness is you need extensive staff training. All right. So you need extensive staff training for that. So these are the weaknesses we can point out. Now let's talk about the opportunities. Okay. So when we're doing the SWOT analysis, what is the difference between strength and opportunity? So strength is basically internal. All right. Like, when we're talking about the strength, the internal strength of the system was that it can be accessed from anywhere. So this was the internal access of the internal strength of the system. When we talk about the opportunities, they are more external. That's more like what else can you do using that? Okay. So the opportunities can be that once this system is in place, you can automate other tasks as well. You can do automation of other tasks. Right? The routine tasks that you are doing manually, you can automate it and it can be done automatically. Um, so, that's going to free up a lot of time of the management and staff, which can be spent on the strategic activities and more creative work. Then you can also, it also gives you the opportunity of scalability because the system is working on its own and it requires less involvement of your staff. So the cloud-based system can easily scale as company continues to expand into new markets. So let's imagine, if you are working in a certain country and now you are planning to go into another country. So the cloud-based system is giving you the opportunity to integrate it with even sitting in another country, right? So it's actually giving you the opportunity of um, scale, okay? And it would also have improved customer satisfaction. So like, the better inventory management, you are not going to have the stockouts that you were having previously. So there would be less likelihood of stockouts and your customer would be more satisfied. Now let's talk about threats. So one of the threat is you're going to have resistance from your staff. So whenever there is a change implemented in an organization, you would see the resistance from staff. So not every employee would be willing to get that training and start using the new inventory management system. So yeah, so that's a threat. And then you have high implementation cost. There is a possibility that your implementation cost is higher than the benefit that you're getting from that. So the upfront cost associated with purchasing, customizing, and implementing the system, along with training staff, could strain the company's budget. And then, if internet is gone, or probably the software is not working, so there is a potential threat of downtime. Okay. And again, when you are implementing that system, even within that process, you're going to have a downtime, and that might be prolonged if it's not done correctly. So that's another threat. Okay, so the question is that, are the costs always threats rather than weaknesses? Um, it depends on how you look at it. Like, for example, you have estimated a certain cost and you say that, okay, so it's going to cost me like 500,000. So that's a weakness of the system. But like, there is a possibility that cost would be increased, even more than your expectation, more than your estimation. So in that case, that would be a threat. So, in this case, you have a certain cost, but there is a threat that your cost might escalate, right? Your cost might increase, so you can actually put it in the threat. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Um, Let me share the complete answer for this one with you. You can download it. Uh, okay, I would suggest that you complete the question and then you can refer to this answer I've sent you. Has everyone got the access of this answer? Oh, sorry. I think everyone will get that. All right, guys. Thank you very much. You can complete the answers, and you can also practice the questions that I gave you, right? Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Bye-bye. Thanks. Thanks, Jen.